This is the story of how two elite agents turned dating into warfare. And honestly, it's exactly as ridiculous as it sounds. It's all started in Hong Kong, where Franklin and Tuck are living their best CIA agent lives. These two are best friends, partners in crime. They're on a mission to capture the Heinrich brothers and retrieve some mystery weapon that's probably going to blow something up later. The night starts simple enough. They're at this upscale party, doing what any red-blooded agents would do, flirting with girls at the bar while keeping an eye on their targets. Jonas and Karl Heinrich show up right on schedule, heading into a secure room to make their deal. But here's where things get interesting. Karl decides to pull a classic villain move and double-crosses his buyers, shooting them all dead. He's walking out with the weapon when Franklin and Tuck spring into action. A massive gun battle erupts. The brothers make a run for their helicopter, but Tuck manages to get there first. He's battling both Karl and Jonas when he nearly takes a fatal tumble. Karl escapes by parachute and Seriously, who just carries a parachute around, while Jonas tries to finish off Tuck. Franklin swoops in for the rescue, and Jonas ends up taking the express route down the side of the building. Karl lands safely and finds his brother's body. You can practically see the revenge plot forming in his eyes as he swears to hunt down the agents who killed Jonas. Franklin and Tuck return to their CIA field office, probably expecting some kind of congratulations for a job well done. Instead, their boss Collins calls them in for what's basically a professional scolding. She's not happy about their very public display of espionage skills, and she's definitely not thrilled that they've now got a vengeful German arms dealer hunting them down. For their own safety, she grounds them and sticks them on desk duty. These are two guys who live for action, so you can imagine how well that goes over. While our heroes are stuck shuffling paperwork, we meet Lauren, a product testing executive who's about to have her own personal disaster. She's having a perfectly normal day when she bumps into her ex-boyfriend Steve. The conversation starts innocent enough until Steve drops the bomb that he's now engaged. Lauren tries to play it cool, putting on that fake smile we've all mastered when life punches us in the gut. She lies about meeting her boyfriend Ken, claiming he's a surgeon, then heads to a local sushi restaurant. Plot twist: Ken is actually her sushi chef, not a surgeon. When Steve and his new fiancée show up at the same restaurant, Ken throws her completely under the bus. She calls her best friend Trish to vent about this embarrassing encounter, admitting she regrets ever falling for Steve. Trish, being the supportive friend she is, suggests Lauren try online dating. Lauren's not having it. She's convinced she'll meet some creep or serial killer. Little does she know, she's about to meet something much more dangerous, two CIA agents with competitive streaks. Franklin and Tuck attend a family gathering at Nana Foster's house. Tuck, who's divorced, watches Nana's relationship with admiration. He gets what love looks like when it works. Franklin, on the other hand, is a committed bachelor who can't understand why anyone would want to settle down with just one person. The next day, Tuck goes to his son Joe's karate practice, and it's painful to watch. Joe gets absolutely demolished while his coach cheers him on like he's winning. Tuck tries to be supportive. Booyah! But Joe doesn't think his travel agent, Dad, knows much about fighting. The kid has no idea his father could probably take out half the dojo without breaking a sweat. When Tuck's ex-wife Katie picks up Joe, Tuck tries to ask her out on a family date. She shuts him down, and you can see it stings. This guy who can infiltrate international crime syndicates can't even get a date with his ex-wife. Both Franklin and Tuck see the same online dating advertisement that evening. Tuck's intrigued by the possibility of finding someone, while Franklin thinks the whole thing is a joke. Meanwhile, Lauren gets to work the next day to find everyone buzzing about her. Turns out Trish created a dating profile for her, complete with some pretty racy photos. Lauren's furious about the pictures, but Trish argues she needs to cast a wide net. As Lauren scrolls through the profiles, she spots Tuck's picture and thinks he's cute. Fate meet coincidence. Tuck tells Franklin about his dating profile and his upcoming date with Lauren. Franklin, being the overprotective friend he is, decides to tag along. He's worried Tuck might meet some crazy woman and wants to stay close by in case his partner needs an emergency extraction. This is the kind of paranoia that comes with their job. Tuck and Lauren meet that afternoon, and there's immediate chemistry. They're both genuinely into each other, having one of those rare first dates that actually goes well. Meanwhile, Franklin's killing time at a nearby video store, probably judging people's movie choices. After the date, Lauren stops by the same video store to grab a movie. She bumps into Franklin, and they start talking about films. He claims to be an expert on both movies and women, but Lauren sees right through his playboy act. She makes it crystal clear she's not interested in being another notch on his bedpost. But Franklin's intrigued. This woman just dismissed him without a second thought, and that doesn't happen often. He uses CIA resources to get her contact information, because when you have access to government databases, why not use them for dating? He crashes one of her product review sessions at work, completely disrupting her presentation. He tells her she needs to accept his date invitation, or he won't leave. Lauren agrees just to get him out of there, but you can tell she's not thrilled about it. Franklin and Tuck are at work, casually discussing their romantic interests. When reality hits them like a truck, they're dating the same woman. Tuck asks if Lauren actually requested the date, but Franklin deflects. He suggests maybe he should back off, but Tuck takes it personally. Instead of doing the rational thing and talking it out, they decide to compete for Lauren's attention. They set ground rules, no interfering with each other's dates.
I'm sorry, what does that mean? What does that mean?
And no hurting their friendship. These are two guys who've probably planned military operations with less structure than they're putting into their dating strategy.
We have a gentleman's agreement.
A gentleman's agreement, we do.
Meanwhile, Carl is tracking them down. But our heroes are too busy planning their romantic campaigns to notice the actual threat heading their way. Tuck takes Lauren on a date, standing up Franklin in the process. The date goes amazingly well, ending with a kiss that leaves both of them wanting more. The next day, it's Franklin's turn, and Tuck can't help but spy on them. Franklin meets Lauren at a club, where he's clearly the king of the scene. Everyone knows him, he's the center of attention, but Lauren's not impressed. She's ready to leave when she spots Steve and his fiancée approaching. In a moment of panic, she grabs Franklin and kisses him passionately, introducing him as her surgeon boyfriend. Franklin plays along perfectly, and you can see Steve getting annoyed. After they leave, Lauren decides to stick around. They grab pizza and actually get to know each other, having a genuinely good time. It's one of those moments where you realize Franklin might not be as shallow as he seems. Franklin confronts Tuck about spying on his date, and they're in the middle of arguing when Collins shows up. She tells them Carl is trying to enter the USA through a contact named Ivan in LA. They need to investigate, but both guys confirm they're not giving up on Lauren. Tuck mentions his kiss with Lauren, so Franklin claims they kissed too. At this point, they turn dating into a full-blown intelligence operation. They brief their teams about gathering intel on Lauren like she's a foreign asset. Both agents break into Lauren's house on the same night for reconnaissance. Picture two highly trained operatives sneaking around the same apartment, trying to avoid each other while looking for clues about their target's preferences. It's exactly as absurd as it sounds. The next day, they get an address for Ivan and decide to investigate. They barge into his card game, pretending to be drunk friends of Carl. Ivan gets suspicious, and a shootout erupts. Ivan tries to escape, but Franklin and Tuck corner him and beat him down. They're taking Ivan into custody when their respective Lauren surveillance teams alert them to new developments. They end up watching Lauren's conversation with Trish together, listening as she admits she can't decide between them. Trish suggests dating both guys, giving Lauren a week to make her decision. Franklin and Tuck kick their research into overdrive. Tuck discovers Lauren likes cars and takes her on a joyride. Franklin follows them with a drone, but Tuck shoots it down. Franklin learns she likes artist Gustav Klimt and takes her on a private tour of his collection, pretending it's his favorite artist while his team coaches him through an earpiece. Tuck hacks Franklin's communications and starts feeding him false information. But Lauren still has a wonderful time. She tells Trish that Franklin might be a little too self-centered. Franklin overhears this and takes Lauren to a dog shelter. Acting like he knows everyone there, he confidently grabs a puppy that immediately tries to maul him. He claims he wants to adopt a dog to be more responsible, but you can tell he has no idea what he's doing. Tuck overhears Lauren telling Trish he's sweet, but plays it too safe. So he brings her to a paintball game, where he proceeds to show off his military training. He takes out a bunch of kids with a grenade and captures the flag single-handedly. It's overkill. Lauren's getting frustrated with both guys acting weird and driving her crazy. To break the tie, she decides she needs to sleep with both of them to see which one she chooses. Franklin and Tuck overhear this conversation and face a dilemma: stick to their agreement or follow through with Lauren's test. They decide not to sleep with her and shake hands on it. But when the moment comes, neither can resist sabotaging the other. Tuck brings Lauren to his place, and they start making out. Franklin launches his counterattack, setting off all the sprinklers. Later, Franklin gets his chance when Lauren comes to his place. She excuses herself to the bathroom, and he prepares for the evening, but Tuck shoots him with a tranquilizer dart. When Lauren comes out, Franklin's completely unconscious. She leaves disappointed. The next day at work, they're arguing about sabotaging each other when they go to interrogate Ivan. They're both pissed off and still taking shots at each other. Ivan just tells them they're both going to die soon, which should probably concern them more than it does. At the LA harbor, Carl arrives in the country. Franklin suggests Tuck might not show up at Nana's dinner since he invited Lauren. Tuck's disappointed because Nana is like family to him. Franklin reminds him they're his real family, and the statement hits Tuck hard. He leaves genuinely hurt. Franklin brings Lauren to meet Nana, who's immediately interested in getting to know her. They walk through the stables, where Lauren sees photos of Franklin's parents and learns they died in a car crash. Nana mentions that Lauren is the first girl Franklin has ever brought home, which means something significant. The family dinner is wonderful, with everyone sharing stories about Franklin growing up. After dinner, Franklin walks Lauren home. She tells him she had an amazing time and really likes him. They start making out, and it leads to them making love. The next morning, Lauren's rushing to leave for a work meeting. Franklin's disappointed, hoping they could have breakfast together. Lauren tells Trish about her incredible night and doesn't think she should see Tuck anymore. But Trish convinces her to follow through with her plan. Tuck gets to work, but his surveillance team lies about there being no tape from the previous night. When he demands the truth, they nervously reveal that Franklin and Lauren slept together. Franklin's at home when Maya, a flight attendant he regularly sees, stops by. But he turns her down, explaining he met someone special. Franklin tries to apologize to Tuck, explaining he has real feelings for Lauren after sleeping with her. But Tuck decides to step up his game instead. Tuck assembles a fake family for dinner, giving everyone roles to play. When he and Lauren arrive at the restaurant, Franklin's CIA agents kidnap Tuck's hired actors and replace them with a group of vagrants. Tuck steps away to contact his fake family when the replacement family approaches Lauren. He has no choice but to play along as the fake dad tells a story about how Tuck got his name from always tucking his private parts. They claim to be happy he's into girls again, since before it was all Egyptian men, and they're surprised Lauren's breasts are real since Tuck told them otherwise. Lauren leaves in shock. Tuck comes clean about hiring actors, explaining he has no real family since his relationship with Joe is rocky, and he barely gets to spend time with him. Lauren thinks it's too much, so Tuck offers to drive her home after picking up Joe. They pick up Joe from school, and Tuck introduces Lauren as his friend. Lauren invites them to her office, where they have fun playing with all the products. Franklin's watching through surveillance and not liking what he sees. After dropping Joe off, Tuck brings Lauren home. They start making out in his car, and it continues into the house. Tuck secretly destroys all of Franklin's cameras, leaving him with only audio of them making love. Lauren's even more confused because she feels equally in love with both men. Trish finally gives solid advice, telling Lauren to choose the guy who makes her want to be a better person. At work, both friends are arguing about Lauren, and who found her first versus who she fell in love with. Tuck makes it clear their friendship is over, and Franklin says he's already asked for a transfer. Tuck gets a call from Lauren inviting him to meet her at a restaurant. Franklin feels defeated and starts packing up. While watching video of Tuck and Lauren in the surveillance van, he spots something in the background Carl. He rushes to warn Tuck. He crashes their dinner at the restaurant. Lauren gets freaked out and excuses herself to call Trish for help. Franklin tries to warn Tuck about Carl, but Tuck thinks he's just being dramatic. Tensions explode, and they start fighting inside the restaurant, beating each other up until they both fall to the floor below.
Yeah, all right. Where you going? Right?
Lauren returns to overhear them arguing about their friendship. She realizes they know each other and have been playing her this whole time. She leaves devastated. Trish picks up Lauren, and they're discussing the situation when their car gets hit from both directions. Men led by Carl surround the car and kidnap both women. Tuck and Franklin are still picking themselves up when Tuck gets a call from Lauren's phone. Instead of her voice, they hear Carl telling them to come unarmed and alone to a warehouse within an hour, or they'll receive Lauren's and Trish's heads in the mail. Franklin has a tracker on Lauren, so they steal a car and head out. They catch up to the convoy, and Franklin jumps from car to car, managing to grab Trish while Tuck causes the other car to crash into a pond. Franklin and Tuck both come clean to Lauren about being CIA agents. The bad guys are still chasing them, so Tuck gives Lauren the wheel. Franklin almost falls out during the chase, but Tuck saves him, and their friendship begins to mend. The two friends start apologizing to each other when they see Carl speeding toward them. They open fire on his bulletproof car, but Lauren suggests shooting the headlights to deploy his airbags. They successfully deploy the airbags, but Carl's car comes rolling toward them and goes off the edge of the bridge. Lauren allows Franklin to save her, and Tuck accepts her decision gracefully. Lauren explains her decision to choose Franklin, and Tuck wishes her luck. Franklin approaches his friend, and they hug as best friends again. Franklin and Lauren share a kiss on the bridge to begin their new life together. A few weeks later, Franklin and Tuck are on another mission. Franklin and Lauren are planning to get married with Tuck as best man. As they prepare to jump from the plane, Franklin reveals he actually slept with Katie long before any of them met.
You slept with my wife!
It's a long time ago, man!
You slept with my wife!
Because some things never change. If you've made it this far without smashing that subscribe button, congrats. You officially have more self-control than I do at a buffet. But seriously, hit subscribe. I waste my life watching movies so you don't have to. It's the least you could do.